Everybody knitted, all the women knitted. It was what put food on the table quite often.
I mean, in days gone by, if you didn't knit, you wouldn't have a garment to wear.
In my wife's house, we had about 6 or 7 knitters. Young people came into it and they didn't have time to hand knit much, so they got the machines.
Just 30 years ago, knitting and spinning was a way of life for Shetlanders. It was the mainstay of the island economy and central to the community. But things have changed. The number of knitters in Shetland is declining, and the future of this craft is uncertain. But hope is not lost.
The hero
An unlikely champion of knitting in Shetland has emerged. Tête à Tête, a pioneering opera company, has teamed up with the people of Fair Isle to breathe new life into this ancient art.
I think we're setting out to see how near we can get to a work of art where you can't quite tell whether it's an opera or a piece of knitting.
He stakes his flag and claims.
Since 1997, Banks Jones, a leading opera director, has specialised in forming unlikely collaborations to create daring and surprising new forms of opera. Over the past year, he's been travelling around Shetland to find knitters and spinners for his new work, A Shetland Odyssey.
Very quickly I realised here was a very special group of artists with a huge amount of creativity. And I think the idea to make them an equal component of a company consisting of a lot of really great artists is a winner, is guaranteed success.
Margaret, Anne and Elizabeth are masters of their craft, and Banks Jones has chosen them for this project.
2 of my passions are music and textile production, so of course it's ideal for somebody like me to be involved in this.
Knitting is a great part of the story, and setting it to music makes it maybe more interesting for people that otherwise wouldn't be looking at what we're doing.
London's weather today mostly dry with some sunshine, but there is a chance of a shower towards the east of town.
Stage 1 of the collaboration is for the knitters and spinners to leave their island life nearly 1,000 miles behind them to take part in an intensive workshop in London's Bethnal Green. Their task is to work alongside the opera company to create a modern interpretation of Homer's Odyssey, imbued with the sounds, textures and imagery of knitting and spinning in Shetland.
And I'm Bill, and I'm directing the project and director of the company.
The first day of a rehearsal is always about getting to the second day, so it's about building a company, it's about integrating the knitting and the opera, so to bring everybody together, to unite with the same purpose, to teach everybody a little bit about knitting who doesn't know about it, and everybody a little bit about singing and opera who doesn't know about that.
We've just done a lesson. I've just started 2 people on spindle spinning, and they've done very well. But things might change, and I think we might move into singing later today, and that's where it's going to get more frightening. We've had a grueling afternoon with the singers and seeing how they work and take things together. And it's interesting because it's a completely new way of thinking for us.
Somehow, a feeling of knitting and spinning needs to be interwoven with every aspect of the production, from music through to set design.
A lot of people think, well, if with a design we could just knit the set, make a big knitted backcloth or knit the costumes. But the thing that I think is important is getting the rhythm and the process and how knitting is created. No, we probably need more people as well. We've got 2.
Oh, you've got 2 each. So.
It seems from the end of day 1 like 2 completely irreconcilable ends. We've had, we've seen the artisans at work, and then we've had a kind of basic singing workshop.
Sing and rejoice.
What I think will happen is that the ensemble will kind of bond together, so that we'll probably forget, who are the singers and who are the so-called musical professionals and who are the artists, the spinners and knitters, and it will actually form into a big group.
Hey!
It's week 2 and early collaborations are taking shape. The company are working out how to knit their arts on every level.
This is a kill, this a wound. This a kill, this a kill.
Everything's so much clearer, and we're bonding as a group and we're having a great time together, and it's really good. The singers are wonderful.
As we've gone through the week, you see how the knitting and producing a piece of knitting and then unravelling it works in with the story of Odysseus' journey and his mind slowly unravelling due to the trauma of war.
A few days later, and it's time for the whole company to be put to the test and make the journey to Fair Isle in Shetland to absorb the island culture and show the islanders what they've done so far. Their journey mirrors the theme of A Shetland Odyssey, in which the war-ravaged hero travels from island to island in search of home. And as Britain's most remote inhabited island, it's the ideal place for Tête-à-Tête to experiment with bringing opera to new audiences.
I think in taking the company onto the island itself and performing on the island is giving it a whole new extra dimension of sort of reality on reality. I don't think we'll know till we see it.
It's much easier to really relate to Odysseus' own story standing here now than in a rehearsal room in the middle of London. I think this will feed all of us being here and give us a real sense of the core of the story. The key stories are always Odysseus arriving at islands with very different characteristics. So a beautiful kind of horror stories of violent seas, of giant rocks crashing and smashing people apart, of sirens enticing the sailors to their death.
We'll sew and weave our lovers' net.
And finally, the moment of reckoning has arrived. A first chance for Bill's evocative ideas to be seen and heard by the islanders in a workshop performance at the Fair Isle School Hall.
And a kill, here and a kill, there. This is a wound. This is a wound. This is a wound. Kill, 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 kill,
Tomorrow I think I'll feel sad that it's over, but tonight I'm just really, it's been magic.
We've found that we've got a great deal in common. It doesn't matter where we sort of started off, we've all ended up together.
Now that the company have had a chance to absorb the magic of Fair Isle, there's a year of research and development ahead before Bill must share his vision with the public.
I have picked up a very ludicrous pack of cards, chucked it in the air, and am now watching where it's landed and seeing that it's made a very beautiful pattern.